$1,000, $5,000, we all work the same.
Yeah.
We just cavitate water, and the water then creates micro bubbles, and then hits the record. What we have here is we can simultaneously wash two 33s, a 45, and a 78, including a shellac.
I like that.
And the shellac is because we also use a low frequency of 35 kilohertz, so we are a bit different. Everyone else is 40 to 80, and anything over 80 you just can't use. It's not worth it because it's made for medical instruments. So when this guy goes in here, we just start the machine. Timer starts for 5 minutes. Now I set it for 7. And all I do is I slip the record in, and you'll notice the record goes in and it's at the proper height, and it cleans the proper grooves. The machines with skewers, that's a joke, because they will not clean the record's grooves properly. Neither can you mix and match sizes. 45, here, let's take that. Here, I'm going to slip in a 45, so I'm not going to ruin the labels, I'm not going to ruin also the center points, so there's no skewering.
That's cool.
We also have this as a whole complete system where we have the UL, CUSA, CE safety requirements.
And so this machine sells in America for how much?
Yep, list price is $800.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yep, and why should we add another $2,000 or another $1,000? It's not fair. We have new kids coming into the business.
You gotta dry it.
They love it. Yeah, just take it out by hand. What we do is we use a microfiber cloth on both sides. Then afterwards we just use our felt. And once we're finished with the felt, we then apply an antifungal agent when this is on the turntable that brings the antifungal agent all the way across. So we do a polish, and then you either play the record or you then put it in your sleeve.
Will that work on my toes?
Unfortunately I tried mine and it still hasn't fixed it, so unfortunately not. We had some people bring in some records that had severe fungus this morning, and we were able to prove that what we show does work.
Would you clean one for me?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay. I cleaned it once before on a competing machine, not at this show. You know this record?
No. Play the gun theme. Yeah.
This. I have a second press of this. This was mastered on April 18th, 1959.
Okay.
This is a Bill Putnam recording at United in Los Angeles.
Whether we have one technology or the other, we'll do the same. So here for our machine, we've set for 5 minutes.
Okay.
And we just drop in the record.
Okay.
And now the record will do its 5-minute cycle. Because we saw areas where we have fungus that is there, we're actually then going to use a mix that we have, which is 99% water, 1% propol, and we will use this as a surfactant.
Right.
And what this will do, it will then allow the water cavitation and the bubbles to burst at a higher rate. So we're going to apply this after the first 5 minutes.
Do you have a background in this, or you can't do it?
I'm a nerd for life. I've been an audiophile since I was 9 years old. I did this because I have the financial opportunity to underwrite the price of this. I have another business on the technology side.
Oh, good.
So everyone deserves an $800 washer.
I agree. I like that.
Started to remove some of the grease, but we haven't removed some of the fungus. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply the surfactant on here. So basically it's just to brush it in, and this goes into the wash, and it's really not affecting the wash, but it is affecting the adhesion of the cavitation of the bubbles.
Now, it looks like this little foam strip between the slits?
Yeah, that's just to keep the record so it doesn't go back and forth, because we have varying sizes, 180 gram records versus the ordinary ones.
Does that carry any of the dirt?
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
And does that have to be changed every so often?
We have a kit that you can change it, and you can change it, once a year or whatever. That's all.
I have to ask these questions.
Oh, no, absolutely. You know your stuff. You've done very well.
Yes, I hope I know my stuff.
So
I don't know my stuff.
So we had a very severely used record this morning, and we did it 3 times, and then afterwards we found the manufacturing defects and blemishes of a record that was made back in '60. No, you can't. Not unless you're from Mars and you have a little man.
Can you give the record a facelift?
No,
boob job?
no. Fortunately, no. Maybe next model.
Maybe it's a female singer.
Maybe next model. Well, there you go.
$4,000.
Yeah, there. No, even a 4,000 machine can't do that. We're all limited. We're all the same in the industry. So the only thing that we've done that's different is the way that we handle the record so we don't damage it. And by having the low frequency, we can do the shellac record that you can see over there, which is from a live broadcast from the oldest radio station in America, KDKA. We've donated one of our machines to resurrect the records.
So you can do two 12-inch records,
Yep, two
one
12,
10-inch
yep.
and one 7-inch.
Correct, that's correct. Now, some people say I can do 10 at a time. You can't do that with a machine, because if you bring the records closer, you are now going to have a standing wave that's going to be generated, just like an RF, and your cavitation bubbles will not make it to this area here, which is the top of the record. It's just someone saying that.
Dreaming.
Well, what we do is we take a look. Here's an Elton John record that we restored. It was an original good plus,
Right.
and it became a very good plus after 4 cycles with the machine. So 3 times with the surfactant and 1 time the original just with the ultrasonic. And this is what the difference is. This is what it looked before, and this is what it looked afterwards.
Wow.
Before and after.
Wow.
And that's all. And what we had inside was cigarette smoke. We had mold and mildew.
Yep.
So we have about 3 minutes left of the machine here, and basically the first cycle, and we'll see how well we were able to remove some of the
Yeah, you can see the stuff on the surface there.
Yep, the fungus. Do this here, where we've now already have improved the record just by using one
And this went through
surfactant.
another brand cavitation machine last night. Yes, it did. I'm not going to mention any names.
Yeah, look at that. Okay.
It already went through another...
Yeah, it already
last
went through a
night,
machine, and
yes.
now we have a remark change between that machine. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here. Since this is very abused, I'm going to do.
How dare you call my record abused?
There we go. Okay, I am
Okay,
now.
and they have a special attaché case for records.
There we go. So what I'm now going to actually do is I am going to work this in.
And that is an
different.
antifungal?
Yep, it's the antifungal.
And what is it?
It's basically propyl and water. Period. That's all it is. And I'm going to work
Propyl
this
is
in.
alcohol?
It's a propane base. It's propane-2.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you sell these...
It comes with the system.
You buy it separately?
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, one $9 bottle lasts you like for 300 records. So, the reason why I'm doing this is I'm working this in, also in the grooves, and you see this white. That's actually where the ultrasonic now is actually removed that grime that you had. That fungus is actually now come to the surface. Okay, so now we're going to put it in the machine.
Thank you. I'll hold that for the rest of the show. I don't blame you.
There we go, and we're going to let it go one last time.
Okay.
95 degrees is what Sony recommends for the old plastics and the new plastic. 95 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, temperature is generated by 2 things. We have a heater in here, but also what we do is we also have the cavitation effect by the ultrasonic itself also generates heat. And that's very dangerous where people don't have the high limit and they say, oh, we can do it at 104 degrees, we can do it at 110 degrees. That will then warp your record. And that's the last thing we want. And warping the record is not warping it like this. It's actually changing in the diameter your grooves and how they were made. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. It's the last thing you want. So anything that's over 95 degrees is not recommended.
We're doing about 35C.
You know what? I think 35C. I think that because I did the data sheet, I think it's 35C. Not more than that.
I have it on. That's what I put under 35.
Yeah.
How long do you do? How long is your cycle?
My cycle is for a brand new record. It's only 5 minutes. As for what we're doing here, this will be a 15-minute cycle. 3 cycles of 5 minutes. And again, this record
you really love. Otherwise, you're wasting your life.
This record took 6 cycles. But you take a look at that. Here, I'm just gonna brush off a bit of the dust here. Look how clean that is. And that was this one here. It was totally brown.
Yeah.
Okay, and it was stored and got waterlogged in an actual flood.
Yeah.
Ultrasonics do a lot better than, like, I've had a BPI for like 20 years.
Yeah, this is a completely different. Once you use something like this.
It started with a spin washer.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, sure.
Good place to start. That's right. Well, you move up.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But it's nice.
Rob. Hey, Mr.
I
Fremer.
don't see any DVDs here.
Well, that can't be.